"No, you're wrong." That is the number one comment that I would believe, the number one comment in the comment section of pretty much any YouTube channel. That's the most reoccurring comment. If you're a YouTuber, you see that daily. You know, we all have an app on our phone that shows us comments that come in. "No, you're wrong." And it's either people saying that to me or saying that to each other in the comment section. And I think it's interesting because I reduce everyone to psychology, including myself and especially myself. We all can easily be reduced to psychology. We can figure out what motivates us, what causes fear, anxiety, motivation in ourselves. But when you have someone who is so eager to tell other people that they're wrong, that's called, what I call, high conflict personality. And it's rampant on YouTube. It's interesting because as a YouTuber, the creator, creating content for the consumers, you know as you're making these videos that as mellow as I might be, people are gonna get in heated debates and try to prove each other wrong. High conflict personality. It's interesting, and here's what I think a lot of it is. And we all know this, that the majority of people who regularly watch YouTube videos are younger. And when you're younger, and that was once me, when you're younger, you haven't quite figured out your identity yet. You haven't quite figured out what you believe, and you're still testing those beliefs out. So one of the ways, here's what I think of. I think of, little puppies, right? And they're playing, they're wrestling, and that's their way of kind of building up their own confidence and strength. I think that's what a lot of people do in the comments section of YouTube. If they were truly confident, they wouldn't need to tell anyone else that they're wrong. They would just watch the video and say, either I disagree with the guy talking the video, I disagree with the people in the comments, but there's no reason I should take out time of my day to tell the person that they're wrong. Now let's look at the psychology of that high conflict personality that wants to say, "No, you're wrong." Because ultimately that person needs to feel better about themselves by trying to prove that the other person's wrong. But it's a simple backfire, and I've made a video about this before. Never tell another person that they're wrong. People can't handle that, especially if you say, "No, you're wrong." They're never going to listen to you because they're never going to respect you. No one's mind gets changed by someone yelling at them, "No, you're wrong." And that's part of the psychology, that people who go around saying, "No, you're wrong," what they're ultimately wanting is respect from other people. They want people to ultimately say, "Wow, when you said, 'No, you're wrong,' you got me thinking. And you're right, I am wrong. I'm changing my beliefs. Thank you." Ultimately, the person who says, "No, you're wrong," is ultimately wanting respect from people. They want the respect that comes from others seeing that they were right, that they were the crusaders, that converted the people to the truth. But that's not reality. That's not how people's minds are changed by someone shouting, "No, you're wrong." That's not effective. It only backfires. It causes the other person to not respect you. The very thing you wanted, you don't get. Why? Identity protective cognition. Whenever someone is very deeply rooted in their belief, whether it's religious, political, even diet, what happens is when another person hears someone talking about something that goes against one of those deep felt beliefs in themselves that's part of their identity, they feel attacked. And they have to defend their own identity to that person. But what happens is the more they hear the other person talk about the opposing view, it only confirms what this person already believes, so they get angry at that person, and their own belief system is only, therefore, enhanced. So the other person telling them an opposing view, that's not how minds are actually changed. And you'll see this on YouTube as well. You'll see people who have the same viewpoints and perspectives that maybe aren't mainstream. They'll find each other online, and as long as you're in agreement with what they're saying, you're ultimately part of that group. But when an outsider shows up, then you realize what's happening. They're wanting to convert that. People are wanting to save each other. People are wanting to convert them. If only you could see the light. But if only you could see the light. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm right. All this stuff. It's so silly. But that's what happens in the culture of YouTube, specifically because so much of the YouTube audience is younger. And when you're younger, again, you're still sorting out what you believe, your identity. You're wanting to test out these theories. In the same way that younger generations are very much glued to these. And forget about YouTube for a minute. Let's talk about Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, right? Because what's going on there, okay? Every 2.5 minutes, okay, I'm gonna do a selfie here. Or wait, I'm gonna do like a tough man. I'm funny. Okay, what kind of make people laugh? And ultimately what they're doing, they post it, and they're saying, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I the fairest of them all? Am I the coolest? Am I the prettiest? Am I the funniest? Am I the funnest? That's what they're asking other people to confirm who they are. And that's what happens in the YouTube comment section. When they say, no, you're wrong, that's always a person who hasn't quite figured out what they believe and who they are. They think they know, and they're testing it out. They're testing that out. But in reality, a YouTube creator like me who is calm, right, emotionally intelligent, I know that debating is a waste of time. If you're arguing about life philosophies, you're wasting your own time. Maybe you're figuring out what you believe. And that's the way I look at it. If I have to argue a belief, it means I haven't really figured out what I believe yet. And I'm really wanting to see if you seem weaker about that belief thing. And in case you're keeping up with this channel, there for a couple of weeks I did a little experiment, a social experiment. And I happened to make some videos that asked questions of a certain group that aren't mainstream. And they wanted no part of a conversation. They only wanted a debate no matter what I said. So I realized, okay, well, this isn't funny anymore. This isn't who I am. I like to have conversations without the other person saying, no, you're wrong, now debate me. And I'm not the person who cares about that. I'm past that point in my life. And I think what happens is, 20 years from now, the people who say, no, you're wrong, are gonna realize, oh yeah, that was silly. That's how I used to think back then. Well, that's who I was when I was 20 or whatever it is. And that's what happens. And some of you are hearing this first from me. But I think it's interesting that that's what is so common in online culture, especially on YouTube. It's that high conflict personality, trying to say, no, you're wrong, trying to get the person's respect by getting them to agree with you. They never will because of identity protective cognition. But ultimately, look at me. I'm a person who knows what I believe, but I still like to ask questions. And I think that's another thing. People who have high conflict personality, they tend to only ask questions if it's gonna lead to a debate. When I ask questions, I'm just wanting to build relationships and conversations with people about random little topics that you might not otherwise talk about. I'm looking for open-ended, growing conversations, not pong back and forth, where no one actually ever wins, like Democrats versus Republicans. So that's what I believe. I believe that it's understood that there is a high conflict personality culture online, especially on YouTube. And guys like me know this, and I don't want to engage in any of that. I just want to, let's just all have fun around here. Now, let me put the cherry on top of this, because what happens too is I think a lot of people with high conflict personalities, they get upset when they're reminded that YouTubers actually make money from the videos. We're creators. We create entertainment for you to spend your time. And what happens is, well, no matter what I'm talking about, me, along with every other YouTuber, is getting a paycheck. I made thousands of dollars last year between my two channels. And it's not that I didn't care what I was saying in the videos. It interested me, but I'm a paid entertainer. I'm paid to create content to entertain and engage people. And it'd be one thing if I were the only one. But imagine this. Look at how many subscribers are on this channel. Okay? Multiply that times 4, that's how many I have on my other channel, which is my name, Nick Shell, Nickshell, Nick Shell. Okay? But even with those couple of thousand, look at every YouTuber who has even that many more subscribers. If someone who's got 10,000 subscribers, 20, 50, they're making that much more money. If between, let's say altogether, 4,000 subscribers last year got me about $4,000, And I guess it's different for every YouTuber, but ultimately, if we thought of it that way, from now on, any YouTuber you see, look how many subscribers they have. In theory, that tends to be how, according to my calculations, based on my own income level from this, that's how much money they made last year, however many subscribers they have off of that one channel. So know that whatever they're saying, and no matter how engaged they are, ultimately they're getting a paycheck from it because they're engaging you to talk about it. And I think there's this backlash for somebody like me to be honest about that, but wouldn't you rather have someone tell you up front this is actually how it works, them pretending, no, I'm such on my high horse about what I talk about in my videos. Money has nothing to do with it. They're the ones not actually being honest. So, and I would love for anyone else that knows anything more about this than I do that could, is there any valid truth in that however many number of subscribers you have on a channel, that's about how many thousands of dollars you made last year in revenue? Because that's definitely the case for me with both channels. I don't know, I haven't talked to other YouTubers. So we have a lot to discuss. I wanted to just really keep it real and maybe throw a conversation out there on YouTube that a lot of people aren't prepared for. But there you go. Let's talk more in the comments right here.